Welcome, students, to another fascinating journey into the world of science. Today we will uncover the mysterious and captivating phenomenon known as skulk. Prepare yourselves as we delve into the secrets of this mysterious substance and witness how skulk spreads across the land. Deep below the surface lies a realm shrouded in darkness and mystery. This is home to an enigmatic substance that we call skulk. As you venture deep into the darkness, you will notice a peculiar block underfoot, pulsating with a faint, eerie glow. This, dear students, is skulk. Skulk is part of a living, growing network. But what causes this network to spread? Let's find out. At the heart of the skulk spread lies the skulk catalyst. When a creature meets its end near this block, the catalyst absorbs the life energy and converts surrounding materials into more skulk. Watch closely as the catalyst works its magic. Upon absorbing the life force, the skulk spreads outward, converting stone, dirt, and other minerals into its own kind. But that's not all. Skulk produces sensors that add another layer of intrigue. These sensors detect vibrations from movement, sound, and even footsteps, sending out a sonic energy pulse in response. But you must be wary of the skulk sensors, for the skulk also produces the shrieker. When triggered by the sonic pulse of the skulk sensor, it emits a piercing shriek. Multiple activations have even been known to some.
Okay, so here, come with me. I want to make sure that I understand this whole thing with the skulk. Okay, so if I'm to understand correctly, this shrieker, this sensor, and this catalyst are all added blocks, not original blocks. These are ones that are all added by the skulk.
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay. So then these skulk blocks here, the standard ones with the glowy bits on it, these have taken over an existing block then.
Yes, exactly. Much like moss, it takes over the existing minerals and materials. So yes, so everywhere where you see this veiny skulk stuff, those were originally stone or dirt or whatever.
Okay. So then it would be safe to say then if we're looking at, for example, this structure here, that this skulk block right here at the base was probably, I guess, stone brick or something of like that. One of these brick blocks.
Yeah, that would be a safe assumption. Exactly.
Okay. I think I get it with the skulk. So, okay. Then what we'll need to do is at some point we're going to need to replace the skulk with the blocks that were originally here, even though it's going to be a bit of a guess on some of them. But I think we could pretty much figure it out. So first things first, I think we need to divide and conquer. So let's head back up to the lab real quick. Okay, so I'm looking at this map. And what I think we need to do is I think we need to divide and conquer this whole thing. We don't want to tackle the whole city all as one big entity. So much like the trail ruins, I'm going to divide this thing up. And it looks like there is a north-south running road and an east-west running road. So I think I'm going to divide it up into quadrants. So quadrant A in the top left, and then, going sort of clockwise. But I think what I'll also do, actually, those are going to be, quadrants, but they're also going to be loci, their own locus each. So I'll do the top left quadrant as a locus, and then the north-south running road that goes up to the gate as its own locus, and then the next quadrant over as its own, and then the east-west running road that goes to the gate, its own, the gate, the next, so on and so forth. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 loci here, which will be all 4 quadrants, all 4 roads, and the gate.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that way we can sort of focus on, like, let's say, one quadrant, or just the road, or just the gate at a time. That way it sort of makes it into, bite-sized chunks. So what I think we should do is, I think we need to copy this map. So what I want you to do is I want you to take this map down. I want you to copy it once and then lock one of the copies. That's going to be our before map. The map that's unlocked, that is the copy of this, will be our working map. And then what we'll do is, while you're doing that, I'm going to fill up this chest here with a bunch of banners and wool. I'm going to take the wool and come up, and I'm going to start dividing this map in the real, in the ancient city itself with wool to sort of delineate the quadrants and the roads and the gate and all that stuff. While I'm doing that, I want you to take the banners and go through, and I want you to banner each one of the buildings. Not necessarily all of the structures, like the pillars you can leave alone, the roads you can leave alone, but the things that look like buildings, or they're sort of their own standalone structures. I want you to banner them. I'll give you a whole bunch of different colors too. And then I want you to number them, but keep them numbered in their quadrants. So this top left corner, this top left quadrant here, if it's got 4 structures in it, label them 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the next quadrant, start over again. That way we can have quadrant A1, A2, A3, A4, then like C1, 2, 3, and 4, that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Easy peasy. So why don't you go ahead and get started on the map? I'll get started on filling this chest with the wool and the banners, and then we'll meet back here when we're done.
Sounds perfect.
All right. See you in a bit.
All right. All right, I have finished making the map copies, and I will stick them right here in this chest.
Perfect.
Second.
Perfect.
There you go.
All right. So then go ahead, and you saw in the chest there were some banners. Go ahead and take those banners, and then go ahead and take these maps here, this one that's on the wall, because this one's not locked. And then as you go through and number the structures, you can just update the map. And while you're updating the map, I'll be putting the wool down. And then, worst case scenario, we got to just go back and re-up the maps. But yeah, go ahead and take those. And then if you know what you're doing, I know what I'm doing, and we can knock this out.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. right, so this is what I did. I laid out all the wool and got it into quadrants and the different loci for the roads and the gate structure.
Okay, well, I went ahead and put out all the banner labels. And while I was down there, I noticed something interesting where most of the structures seem to be kind of repeated throughout the area or throughout the city.
Okay.
Like most buildings seem to have at least two. Some of them had even more than that of what appeared to be the same building.
Okay. Show me some of them. Let's see what these are.
Okay.
Ooh.
So first we started with this structure here. And if you notice, it's kind of like a square structure. It appears to have these two inner pillars, but then these two outer pillars here.
Okay, yeah, all right.
And then as I was marking this quadrant, I noticed the structure over here.
Oh, yeah, it's the same.
Yeah,
the two outer pillars.
So if you come at it from this side, it's that same square with the two inner pillars and then these two outer pillars.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so what I decided to do in that case was, although they're obviously different numbers because they're different structures, I color coded them to where whenever I saw one that appeared to be similar to another one, I made it the same color.
Okay, yeah, good call on that. Yeah, no, that's definitely the way to do it. So, okay, how many structures then do we have, not total, but like the repeated ones? How many individual structures do you think we've got?
Let's see. I seem to have identified about 12 or 13 different structures, but there are some that seem to be in such disrepair that they were almost unidentifiable.
Okay. All right. Were there any that were not repeated?
Only one, actually.
Oh.
A very interesting one over here.
Okay. Do you remember where it's at?
Yeah, that was over here in, I believe, Loci C.
Okay. The white banner? Okay.
Yeah. So something very interesting I noticed about this one is it actually has ice, and it's ice that's not melting.
Okay.
And it appears, although I didn't want to touch it, it appears to have pressure plates and trap doors, and it looks like there might be an inner chamber inside.
Okay. All right. That's definitely something we'll need to sort of explore a little bit later on when we get to this building. Okay. Cool. And you were able to update all the maps?
Yes, I was able to update all the maps, and I think there was one other interesting one I found.
Okay. Yeah.
And I just wanted to show you this one here.
The little one here?
Yeah, so this little one here, and there's I think 3 of these, and when I looked at it, this looks like the warden's head with his arms and his legs as if he's wanting a belly rub.
Can I pet that dog?
No.
Can I pet that dog?
No.
Can I pet that dog?
No, he's
Can I
sleeping.
pet that dog?
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Look at him.
So maybe this was a building for the kids.
Yeah, okay. That's pretty funny. Oh, now I will never unsee that. Well, I tell you what, this is all really good, and you've updated the map and everything, so we're good on that. So we will go ahead and add the map to the lab, but first, let's head up top. Well, let's go over to the gate structure real quick.
Okay.
But I think what we should do is, because the skulk itself adds blocks, and those are not part of the original ancient city, I think we should remove all of the catalysts, shriekers, and sensors.
Okay.
Is there a tool that's going to be best to do that with?
Yes, I have read that the hoe is the best tool to pull up skulk.
Okay, skulk or like all skulk or just
I believe it will also work on those added features that you just mentioned.
Okay.
We can try it and see.
Okay, so let's go ahead and divide up the ancient city then in half, and then you take one half, I take the other, and then let's go through and very, very carefully remove just the added blocks.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, which side do you want?
Let's see. I'll take what staring this way. So this is the entire north half.
Okay, I'll take the south half. Let's once we're done with that, go ahead and let's meet up back at the lab.
Sounds great.
All right, cool. Interesting. Hey, I want to show you something. So, if you notice, you told me to stand on the wool the first time we were down here, and all the wool is gray. Everything here is old and sort of dilapidated. We've got most of this stuff is gray wool, but then you have this, the bright blue wool, which is sort of out of place. And if you notice, it's on top of everything. It's not, see, it's even on top of the gray wool, which means it came later. And so that got me thinking, this almost looks like somebody put this down after the fact, after the gray wool was down. And it doesn't matter that, this is here because the wool's wool. It's gonna muffle your steps anyways.
Right.
So I started looking around. Oops, wrong button. And I want to show you this. So,
Okay.
a lot of these buildings here have a chest. Now,
Notice those, yep.
open that chest and look at it. Don't take anything out. Do you notice anything interesting about the sort of way that the items are laid out?
They're not very organized.
No, they're not. And they're also not laid out in a left to right pattern. If you were to have all those items and were to just throw them in the chest, they'd start going from left to right. You'd actually have to place those in that pattern. Which makes me wonder if these missing squares are from people taking things out of the chest after putting stuff in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like basically like looters.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm getting at. I think this place has been looted. Pretty heavily, too. The newer wool carpet, because it's all just wool carpet, it's not wool blocks, just carpet. And then you've got all of these chests everywhere that have items in them, but they're sort of random. There's nothing, it's just not organized. It's just sort of haphazardly thrown in there. So yeah, I think this place was looted.
Interesting. Is that pretty common in archaeological sites that you would find evidence of looting?
Unfortunately, yes. That is a very common thing. Yeah. And the other unfortunate thing is that early 1900s, late 1800s, that was kind of the norm. That was the thing that families did on Sundays after church, is they'd go to their local archaeological site with shovels and see if they could find something to take home. I mean, obviously we don't do that now, and most people are pretty good at not taking things, but yeah, I think this place was actively looted at some point. I think these chests were put here by the looters and filled with stuff that was in this general area. I don't know if it came from this building or what. And maybe they took things out as they left. Maybe the warden scared them off. I don't know. But
interesting.
Something that I noticed kind of going through here. So anyways, yeah, let's go update that map.
All right, sounds great. So here are the maps. I hope I get them back in the correct order.
Yep, that looks right.
That one's there. Here and here. Okay.
All right. Wow, that is something.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, like, whenever I first looked, it seemed like there weren't too many structures, but then once I started labeling them, there seemed to be a lot. Like this quadrant here had 11 structures in it.
That's insane.
But then like this one over here had 5.
Huh. Oh, there's even a structure underneath the road, the south running road.
Yeah, well, that was one. So I kind of made a judgment call on that, and
Okay.
We can talk about that later when we see it. But to me, it looked like a structure, but I'm not really sure, so I labeled it anyway.
Okay, yeah, we can make a judgment call on that. Huh. Okay. Well, here, let me take a step back and get a good look at it. Yeah. Yeah, that's an excellent start.